Happy Vlogmas day 14. It's a lot colder out here than I expected it to be right now. I think it's supposed to warm up a little bit, so I want to change, but I don't think so. Maybe I'll put like a cowl on. Store-bought sweater with a little fox and some sunglasses. I have to go to the post office and drop off those packages that I did yesterday, and I'm gonna pick up some donuts for the hubs. But mom isn't feeling so well, so this afternoon I'm gonna be taking her to a doctor's appointment, and I almost feel like I need to be working on something else. The Santa sweater she already knows about, but still I feel like it's not something I want to work on in front of her, you know? So I know I need, the other thing I was talking about last night that I need to work on is massive tassels for a blanket that I completed. I need to wash the blanket too, but I want to make the big tassels first. So I don't know if that's something that I should be working on in a doctor's office, but I'm like, what else should I work on? I don't have really any other project going. Let me think about that and brainstorm while I go and do these errands. 10 a.m. and all those errands ran all those errands. So I stopped and got myself I still haven't even mixed it up yet. And the first sip was really potent, but vanilla iced coffee from Sonic. I'm about to be crazy with this thing. Also, I forgot to say, I say all those errands done, all those things done, because I submitted an idea with Lion Brand and have something coming up in January, and yarn is on the way. So to me, I'm like, yay, check, did a work thing. I think I have decided that since I have to redo part of that back panel, I am gonna go ahead and frog down to before the sleeve shaping and get back down to the body, so that I can just knit stockinette for the 1.5 inches more that I need. And then I can do the shaping there too. I feel like it's not going to be a big deal to work on if it's just the stockinette panel and I'm not carrying around actual Santa's face. I think she won't think anything of it. I'm just working on another project, especially with her not feeling well. Also, since I still have a few pages left on my old notebook that I've been using, but I've been holding on to these little notebooks, and they're like hard cases, and they got like a little magnetic clasp on it. It's pretty plain inside. It's just like a notebook, but it had it had the date and a certain place on the bottom down here. And these were just old notebooks that were given to me, and I kept them even though I wasn't going to be using them from that date. I think it said like 2018. And I have another one too, which is like a green. So I decided to put a bunch of stickers on it, and I covered up some of the things on there. And I thought that adds a lot more fun to it too, the stickers. And then I put the pen that Stacy gave me in there. So this will be my new notebook for the year. And I think it's a lot easier to keep everything in with it being enclosed, like in a case like this. Because I do like to staple my yarn labels in there to make it a little bit easier with like designs I'm doing or tests I'm doing. Like the thing is actually there, especially if I'm using, pretty much always using more than one label's worth. So I'll just keep one of the labels, and if I have some scraps, then another label would go towards that. Plug was coming out. Anyway, yeah, so I'm excited to start a fresh new notebook with a fresh new design coming up, and also a fresh new test coming up. Yay! And since I'm going to be leaving, I'm thinking I probably better open my Advent now. So day 3. I wonder what this is going to be and what the project is going to be. It's kind of part of one of my favorite things to see like what Stacy made with the yarn. But she did tell me that there were a couple that were just like minis or things that she threw in to make the fade make more sense, or might be colors that she doesn't traditionally use that she knows that I would like to throw in with it to make it all blend really well. All right, I'm liking this countdown. 1, 2, 3. Whoa, we went dark. Oh, it's like the vibe today. I put my pony like lower so that I can have my headphone on. I don't like it. I love me a high pony. Okay, Boulder colorway by Montana Crochet, 100% superwash Merino. And I already know I love Montana Crochet, so no wonder why. All right, let's go get photos of it and find out what the project is that she made with it. Here they are all together, and I'm keeping them on my TV stand along with the other Advent project I need to pick up. Ooh, get my Santa sweater done so I can work on these things. My stepdaughter's Christmas card came in, and it's so precious. And they have the big announcement now for another grandbaby that went to everybody. Oh, I'm so excited. I am hoping for a girl. Yes, I've been sending it out already into the universe. We want a girl. All right, I have got the decreasing done for the Santa panel. And I just need to knit to the certain length. So I just put that on an extra cord. They're really scrunched on there with some stoppers. And then I took the needles that I already had on there, and I picked up the legs all the way down before the sleeve shaping. So I'm gonna frog all this, and then I'll add 1.5 inches here and do all this again, and then go back and start knitting on the Santa length till they match up. And then I'll do the attaching of the shoulders. I think it'll be much better this way, so I won't have like this weird bind off situation here and having to seam those edges. Yeah, I like that better. I'm a big fan of 3-needle bind off. And I'm not too mad about frogging this down. It's just, this part is just tedious. Frogging in crochet is so much less stressful than doing all the weird things that you have to in knitting. Because, I mean, there are bonuses to having the live stitches too. And the texture that you get from, not the texture, the drapiness that you get from, like, it being the live stitches. Less of the bulk of the fabric. Like crochets are just like knots, you know what I mean? And these are like loops with each other. All right. Yeah, that's all I got for you right now. We'll see how much progress I make. I know we already established what I'm gonna do, but just for the sake of sharing purposes and what I have to do coming up, and I'm hoping I might actually work on this tonight, but I can't find something to work. I need something that's 6 inches. I found something that's 5.5. I might have a book I could probably find that will be 6 inches where I can wrap around to make a tassel. I don't have any of those little contraptions, which I probably should invest in. I just don't make tassels that much, but if for this many tassels, it would be worth it. They suggest cutting some cardboard, and I do have cardboard. I probably could, but I don't feel like doing that. So this is a blanket that I made a long time ago for myself to like use as a prop, or like a back, you know how some people do really aesthetically pleasing flat lays? I thought this would be something that would help me with that. Flat lays are not my thing, and they don't do well on my feed anyways. I guess people just love to see my beautiful face. So that's the thing that works best on my grid, but I still sometimes like to show things, and I do love this blanket, and the tassels are definitely the star of the show. They are humongous. They took so many skeins of, like, this one I think I used the Karen 1 pounds, but the blanket that I made just now for the gift is the Lion Brand Pound of Love. So I already made the blanket, I just need to wash it. But I have part of this one, and then I've got 2 more to make the tassels. So that's why I'm thinking that's not necessarily a great thing to take with me. But I almost think like doing the 5.5 inch might work out. It's just, I was thinking I was gonna use, it's basically a gauge roller that I'd be using, and I have to wrap it like 120 times. And I don't know if it can support that or if I'm gonna end up breaking it. I guess if I'm fairly gentle, and I trim the ends too. So I feel like I'm basically gonna lose a 1/2 inch. So then they'd be, what, 5 inches when they would have been like 5.5, you know, if I did 6 and then cut off like 1/2 inch to even it out. I don't know. I might go ahead and do that, especially because it might stretch my yarn out to go longer, and the tassels are still gonna be a wow factor even at that size. That's gonna be a feat, and I've been meaning to do it. That's why it's been sitting on my coffee table for the longest freaking time. Can you tell them that it's 12:30 and like 60 degrees? I think y'all enjoy seeing them, and I really don't showcase them very much. But they wanted to come outside, and then they decided it was so nice that we should sunbathe. Tasty's just looking more and more like Tamale. We miss Tamale. Are we tired, guys, or what? You can't tell me that pugs are ugly. I swear that's what people say all the time, but no. They have the best personalities. I tend to always show y'all the meals that I'm having along with the projects that I'm working on, because that's just what my life is. But I'm already running some laundry of the dog's mess. Their bedding and, you know. Anyway, I need to wash my bedding too. But I decided I want to have leftover chicken noodle soup before I go. Totally doesn't match, but I decided to put some Christmas socks on. Because why not? Never mind. Mom ended up taking herself. Pops got home in time from his appointment, so she's gone for her appointment now. And I'm just dressed up for me, myself, and Vlogmas. And my project here at home by myself, per usual. Let's talk about how I have spent the entire day just watching Vlogmases, and done a couple loads of laundry. Ow, I just hit my ear. Yeah, now I guess I'm gonna go to the store and get stuff to make some cheese dip, which is super easy, quick. I washed a bra without being in the bag, didn't realize that. It's a super quick, easy thing to make and eat. I thought while we were watching racing, but apparently they already been out working out in the shop and watching the racing. It's like a huge weekend event this weekend, and apparently my husband also told me that my guy broke his motor, which is a bummer. It's a guy that I root for, which he probably doesn't want me rooting for him anyways, because I have bad luck. So whoever I root for always usually doesn't do very, very well, because bad luck hits them. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and press start, go to the store and get the things, and come back and start the cheese dip. And I make my cheese dip in a rice cooker. My in-laws have always, like, the family here have always thought that that was weird at first, and now they're used to it. It's so much easier. Not much of a sunset yet again, but it is kind of like a nice vibe, I guess, but maybe I'm just in a bit of a somber mood. I guess I didn't really mention that either, that I had this revelation today that it's my first Christmas without my most special pug, I guess. Yeah. I wanted to post a throwback picture, so I was looking at this time last year, and this time last year I found out that she had some things in her lungs and everything deteriorated after that. I mean, she still survived for months after, but I can already hear the racing. But it really got me very emotional, so I guess it was good for me to be home. Everybody's always showcasing all the recipes and while they're cooking, and I haven't really done any of that, but this cheese dip, everybody has this, right? Like, everybody has this kind of cheese dip. It's not anything fancy that I'm doing. Just Velveeta and 2 cans of Rotel, but I got the fire roasted one today. And today I got Tostitos, the bite-sized ones. Sometimes we like the little cup chips. They like those a lot, but I don't know. I kind of like the flat ones lately. But my husband, he just likes to have it with corn tortillas. And then I got some of these. They're like flour, but they're teeny tiny, so they're nice to like dip in. But I like blend so the tomatoes become like a juice and not this chunky stuff. And then also you know, you need a little bit of ground meat. And I just dice it, and this is what I put it in my rice cooker like this. And I just turn it on, quick rice, and then I stir it up here and there, and I add all the things to it, and then I will cook the tortillas and house them in here while that is melting. It's super freaking quick. Just kidding. I meant that I put it on like the slow cook section, and I put it on like super high, so it'll start melting pretty quick. It already has begun melting, but I blended this. See how it's so juicy? We don't really like a chunky sauce. At least my husband and I don't. So that's what we go with. And then I'm gonna add the meat too. And now I'll make the tortillas. It's time for me to get in the shower and call it a night. I don't even feel like I've accomplished that much this week. Tomorrow is freaking Friday. Oh my gosh. Maybe I'll actually descale my coffee maker tomorrow, and I don't know what I'll do. I guess I'll have to work on the tassels, and the Santa sweater is gonna have to be put back on hold.